Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we welcome you back to another broadcast of the Real Talk Sports Show. And we hope and pray that everybody as well is watching us tonight as we broadcast to you just outside of the city of Atlanta, Georgia, an undisclosed location. All right, guys, if you want to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you, please follow us everywhere on social media. Bam. Real Talk Sports, the number 7 on all platforms. Anywhere on social media, check us out. Follow us right there. Of course, you can follow the show and me. Here's how I got to do it. I'm going to click it on right here for you. That's how to email me. So if you got a great sports story that you have going on, let me know. We'd love to have you on our broadcast. Also, please, again, like I said, follow us on social media. There's a show, Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J. Sim, and we'd be more than happy to reciprocate to you. So that is the story, my friends. Well, every time I do a sports show, we like to bring on one of the most beautiful ladies in the world of sports talk, radio, or TV. We simply call her the Queen. The lovely Tree Dolman is back in the building. Tree, welcome back.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everybody.
Oh, boy. She got I'm not going to call that yellow. I'm going to call that maize. Oh, there it is. She's sporting the maize and blue from Michigan. And
yes.
I know why, boys.
And it said, go blue!
Go blue! All right, everybody, simmer down. Don't get too excited. I'm sure social media is going to come alive as the Queen is sporting the maize and blue. We'll be talking about that. Matter of fact, guys, we'll pop up on the screen here for those of you who are watching us. These are our topics for tonight. So we're going to be doing a little FIFA World Cup update. The U.S. beat Iran to advance. We're going to talk a little about the Hawks. What on earth is going on with their poor play lately? 8:15 hour, we're going to bring in some high school folks. We're going to go ahead and do a recap. Now, it should say actually Hughes. Sorry about that. That's Woodworth against Hughes. That was last week of tremendous game. We're going to bring back Candace Mitchell. And the Hughes head coach, Williams, is going to be joining us as well. So that's going to be the opening 2 spots of our broadcast. Yeah, I mean, just a big weekend in the world of sports, Tree. And, of course, like I said, we'll be talking college football because it's going to get down to 4. And the question is, who is going to be the 4 participant? We're going to ask everybody to pick out who they think is going to be the 4. And it's going to actually be announced, obviously, this Sunday. But we want to get some previews ahead of time to see who everybody's going to pick. I already know who you pick to definitely be in there as one of the 4.
I already know.
Already know. That's right. And then, like I said, the other breaking news is the U.S. men's national team has advanced with a scintillating win over Iran, however you want to pronounce it. And, 1-0. They had to hold on Tree for dear life. They got a lead, and they had to hold on for the last 6 minutes. Plus, they had bonus time. But USA, they've done it. Let's go to social media here really quickly here. And we have Mr. Vincent Turner, Mr. Football. He says, kudos to Big Blue. They definitely should shock the world. Go ahead, Miss Tree. Love from the 901.
Okay, Memphis.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know that they shocked the world, though. That's my only thing. Did they really shock the world? Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people were picking Ohio State to win, especially since we were playing in that school below us, right? But I thought I did pick Michigan to win. I honestly didn't think that they would win by as much as they did. So I'm happy that they just went and just let everybody know who was the better team. So yes, thank you. Kudos, Vincent Turner. I'm still on cloud 9.
As you should be. Like I said, big win because not only did they win, but they won in the horseshoe. And then they got a little jiggy with it. They went in and said, Minister, we need your shade, because they planted the flag right in the middle on the 50-yard line on that OSU. So, again, big shout out to Michigan and big shout out to Jim Harbaugh. He was a guy that was under tremendous duress. I mean, a lot of people think he was going to leave, go to the pros. A lot of people thought, hey, that's it, he was going to quit. But big kudos to him for not only staying with the program, but getting a monkey off his back, knocking off Ohio State in back-to-back years.
Yes. And that, honestly, though, that just goes to show that you can't just be so quick to give up on coaches. You have to give them a shot. Look at Duke's coach. Remember, they were saying that they were talking about getting rid of him when he first came. Oh my goodness. What if they would have fired him and not kept him on board? We wouldn't have all of this greatness going on with Duke. So you have great coaches. You have to give them a shot. So I'm really happy that he's still there. It just goes to show what a phenomenal coach he is and what a great coach he is for our program.
Yeah, no doubt. So that's the thing that, and nowadays it's really, that's a big problem. And now you got you have fan bases that are almost delusional. I mean, they like that once their team wins a little bit, they're expecting them to go, undefeated every year, go to college football playoffs every year. And it just doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to give guys some time to build a program. So thankfully, Jim Harbaugh, being an alum, has done what he said he's going to do, at least part of it. He's went ahead and got the monkey off the back of being Ohio State and Michigan State, got them to the playoffs. And now, as one of your bloggers has said, we want Georgia. We don't care about no SEC. Bring on all that smoke, baby. They said, bring on that smoke. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, why don't you take it easy? Let's one step at a time. Let's go back to social media here. Mr. Vincent Turner said, I can't believe it. The Wolverines on top of the world beat Ohio State at their house. That's
at their house. Makes it even better, Vincent. That's what I'm so excited about. My father and I, we always talk football, and we were both excited before the game started. We said, you know what? We're glad that we're playing in their house. That way, when we beat them today, they can't say, oh, well, the crowd and this and that. No, it's tougher to go into Ohio State and beat them on their turf. And we did that. And not only did we beat them, but we beat them by a nice amount. And that just makes it all the sweeter. Go Blue.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they did. That was shoes. They went in and again knocked off Ohio State in the horseshoe. And like you said, 2 straight years for Jim Harbaugh, knocking off the 2 arch rivals, Michigan State and Ohio State. So yeah, man, he's the guy. This is what you want your coach to do. I tell you, buddy, this is really not brain surgery. If you want to stay and be a college coach for a long time, beat your rivals at least every other year.
That's a good one.
Don't be going on a long losing streak. Talking about we lost 5 straight. You don't want to do that unless you're going to come back and win 4 straight if they kept you around that long. Win, at least beat your rival. Be 500 against your rival, whoever that may be. And at least, every other year or so, get yourself a conference championship. If you do that, you'll be coaching for a long time. They'll leave you alone. But of course, again, when you're with a Big Ten or SEC or any major Power 5 conference, the ultimate goal obviously is to win the college football playoff. So once again, kudos, barring some type of crazy thing happening, which I don't think will happen. Michigan not getting there, but even if they were to lose,
that won't happen.
It won't happen. They just can't. They're not going to do that. You're not going to go undefeated and then you lose in your championship tilt and they go, well, you can't play. That's not going to.
Yeah, that won't happen. And can I just say kudos to Michigan because now we are back-to-back East Division champions. Hello, yay! So not only did we have a great win against Ohio State, but we clinched another championship back-to-back. We're champions.
Oh yeah, like I said, they're just. These guys are getting right to it. They're balling out in a major way. So again, big shout out to them. And one last comment from Mr. Turner. He's got jokes tonight. He said it was like the great Michael Jackson, just beat it. Just beat it.
They did. Just beat it.
They beat them down. They stole something. Well, guys, when we bring on the queen, we also bring on a champion. Not one, but 2-time Super Bowl champion, played over a decade in the NFL, and is a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame and a recent nominee for the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Number 38 numerically, but number 1 in our hearts, baby. Tyrone Poole is back in the building. What's happening, sir?
How you doing, Jonathan? How you doing, Miss Tree? Hello to all the lovely viewers and those that are listening in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you work that thing today?
Hey, I'm going to tell you something, Tyrone. I actually did work that thing today, sir. I actually got in my planks today. I got to 2 minutes. I had to break them up in sets. and I did a 27-minute walk around the exterior interior of our dealership, including 3 times up and down the stairs. So
Oh, go Jonathan!
Here you go, Jonathan. Here you go, man. If I could get, there you go. Take it. There you go.
I got to grab that thing, baby. There you go. Hey, man. Well, yeah, man, I'm trying to work that thing so I can continue to work that thing as I now go into my senior years. Amen. Well, look, Tyrone, we talked a little bit about, you want to give a big shout out. I know you are a soccer fan. U.S. men's international team has gotten by, and now they're into the next round of the FIFA, knocking off Iran 1-0. They hung in there, sir, and pulled it off. Yes, sir. Now, before we go to the break, we still have about another 3 more minutes before we do that, 4 more minutes.
Ooh.
Okay, what on earth is going on with the Hawks? Now, Tree, you were actually there for the game against Miami where they had a lead, and then what happened?
Well, I want to say that you would be very proud that in the beginning of the game, they were shooting from 3, 62%. I was very impressed. We were shooting better than the Heat was from the 3. And then it dropped to 50%. And then it just kept dropping as the game went on. It just kept dropping. But at first we were hitting our 3s and it was really nice. The Hawks had energy and we were playing really well. We had a large lead. I was really shocked when they came back and it just slowly started leaving. After halftime, all of the shots just weren't falling. The first half, oh my goodness, great basketball being played. It was still some good basketball being played. We know John Collins, he was on fire. He had 21 points, but it just, a couple of the guys got cold. Trey wasn't hitting. Our stars just, we needed them towards the end. And it just seemed like when they came out after halftime, they just couldn't make a shot.
Tyrone, it seems like they're falling into that bad trap. You always talk about these 10-game stretches. They were rolling for a while, but looks like now the last 10 games, I don't even know if they're 500.
Yeah, well, again, people, let's understand it's still a long season. They've done it the last couple of years in a row, kind of like the Atlanta Braves. They kind of, I guess, towards the end of the season, they get that slap in the face and, let's see if we can pick this thing up. But, you want to be consistent. And I know the players want to be consistent. I don't know. Maybe it's the city of Atlanta, man. I'm like the city of Atlanta. Just too much to do. You start winning and people want to celebrate you. And they tell you, hey, your money is no good here. And, you start to lose a little bit of direction and you lose your consistency. So I don't know. But, hopefully they'll get that thing back on track.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what we see is a disturbing pattern. Unfortunately, Tree mentioned it. They start off very well in the first half. Matter of fact, the game that I had attended, I guess it was against it was the game before the Heat game. They actually scored 72 points in the first half. And then in the second half, they just had to hang on for dear life. I think they scored a total of 41 points or so in the second half and scored right around 19 or 20, which has been the other bad pattern in the fourth quarter, sometimes not even scoring 20 points. We had a situation where our 2 big guards, 3 for 9 in the fourth quarter against the Heat. And then they did something similar. They were 2 for 6 against the Sixers. Well, as you know, Tyrone, has a recipe for disaster. You can't win no games like that when your 2 top scorers flounder around like that.
Yeah. What do you think, Jonathan? I'm like, you go and you interview these guys. What are they actually, the feedback that you're getting from these guys?
Well, I mean, to me, it's what we talk about a lot. The lack, really, I think, of a cohesion. I mean, Coach Nate said it best. He said that for this team to play right, they have to be connected. That's his favorite thing. Matter of fact, let me go this real quick before the break here. These are words from Coach Nate after a loss, because it's been pretty much the same thing for the Hawks every time they lose a ball game.
They didn't play defense, so there was no energy, there was no urgency from us on the defensive end of the floor. I didn't think there was much urgency from us on the offensive end of the floor. We wasn't running our sets with pace. Pretty much we was kind of going 3/4 speed, walking through our sets on the offensive end of the floor. And when we did get open looks, we didn't make those shots. So.
And really, that's been the story of every Hawk loss. Been the same story. Lack of energy, not running their sets. and not hitting the three-point shots. They're as unlike last year where they're amongst the best three-point shooting teams in the league. They're among the worst. So hopefully the Hawks can turn that around. Well, we're going to turn around because we're going to talk some football in just a moment. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Please don't go nowhere. Thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
There it is, guys. That picture you're seeing on your screen, that was the scene that we saw last week. Friday Night Lights, we were there on the scene. Langston Hughes against Woodward Academy, two of the better teams in South Metro Atlanta, and two of the better teams in the state. Check this out, guys. 12-0, Langston Hughes hosting 11-1 Woodward Academy. At least for the first half, it was as advertised. And we're going to bring on some people that were there with us. First of all, we're going to bring in a lovely Miss Candace Mitchell is in the building. And we also have the coach from the Langston Hughes Panthers in the building, Fair Lady. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Coach, good to have you. Candace, check your mic. We're not hearing you. All right. Well, hopefully we'll get the lovely Miss Candace in here in just a second. Coach, you know, the one thing I've told people since I've been covering football, high school football, especially on the South Side, and I don't know if you feel this, I don't know if it helps drive your team, but it seems like sometimes the teams in South Metro don't be getting the love that some of the other teams, either North Atlanta or teams from down South Georgia. Do you guys feel that? And if so, does that help spur you guys to do some of the things you've done in the last couple of years?
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely feel that way. I think that a lot of times we get discredited coaching. I don't think they really take us serious because we're not usually in the state championship talks. We're not leading in a lot of stats and records and stuff like that, usually in and out. A lot of times because our kids leave South Fulton and go other places. And, but right now we're doing a good job of keeping them, and they're starting to really pay attention to what's going on the South Side.
No doubt. I got a guy here. Speaking of South Side, I have a gentleman here that played down at LaGrange High School. That's a little bit farther outside of Atlanta, but was a legend there for LaGrange High School. Mr. Tyrone Poole. Mr. Poole, any questions or comments for Coach Boone from Langston High School?
Oh, well, one comment I'll just say, regardless whether it's high school, college, or professional, every round gets tougher and tougher and tougher. That's why I tell people, when we did back-to-back, you talk about impossible feat. The second one was just as tough as the first one, because the first one, people can say, oh, yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So did you guys hear everything I said?
No.
No?
You have to reboot. We only
you
got part of
said after the first one, and then you went out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was just saying, whether it's high school, college, or professional, what I would tell, Coach Boone is, for his guys to understand that every round gets tougher, man. It's like you start weeding out the bad teams. And sometimes even the good teams, they lose. They may be more talented, but they lose because they did not come to prepare. So every week it gets tougher. The talent pool starts to level out, and it starts to come right here now. Who comes ready to play? Who knows their stuff? And that's the team that's going to end up winning. So like I said about these two trophies back here, the second one was the toughest of the two, because the first one, people can say, oh, you know what, they surprised us or whatever. So the second one, everybody was expecting. Okay, this was last year's champions. Okay, we get to determine how good we are based off of the champion. So the second one was the toughest because everybody was giving us their best. So that means we had to raise our level of mental and physical activity greater than the competition. So that's what I would tell Coach Boone to tell his guys is that they have to, whatever they did last week, they got to times that by 50. Okay. And that's how you get to the next round. That's how you win the championship. Every round, you got to time it by 50.
Understood. I take that from a Super Bowl champion, so I definitely take that.
No doubt. Well, Candace, you had followed Woodward Academy and also obviously peaked in Langston Hughes. What were your thoughts about that game, especially in the second half? Uh-oh. We still got no mic from you, Candace. You look nice, but we still got no volume from you. Try it again. All right, we'll get Candace on eventually. We'll have her on there. Well, Coach, like I said, man, we were really I know myself, I'd done some of the research on your team, and I was just amazed at how no one was talking about a team that's averaging over 50 points a game, and defensively, Tyrone giving up less than 15 points a game. That's an average spread of 35 points. And yet I really didn't hear much about Langston Hughes until the playoffs first thing started. All right, your upcoming opponent, who are you playing, and what are some of the challenges, Coach, that are going to face you as you now get just one step away from heading to Mercedes-Benz?
We play against Rome, the Rome Wolves out of Rome, Georgia. The challenges, I mean, they're a good defensive team. They actually lead the state and giving up less defensive points than anybody in the state right now. So at like 8.7 points a game. So they have a real good defensive line, and they're really active. They, like you said, like Coach said, it levels off. Is the talent pool is great coaching in that team. So each level has gotten harder for us, and we have been, standing up to the challenge. But Rome presents a great defensive challenge for us and offensive as well. It's going to be a good game.
Like I said, it's Coach Boone. I know Tree has a question too. I'll say this real quick, Coach Boone. You made me think, Coach Boone, about Remember the Titans, Coach Boone. Hey, so I'm going to take a clip from that movie, all right? You guys don't play Rome. Coach, you got to give them something that they're not expecting.
Yep.
Give them something they're not expecting.
Yep.
Come on, bus. Give them something that they're not expecting. Get that momentum on your side early and keep it on your side. That's how you guys get to the next round. Give them something, Coach.
I got you.
Well, no, Tree, go ahead. Your questions or comments for Coach Boone?
Yes, I do. So I know that one of the things that I talk about very often with sports, especially with football, you have to start the game at a really high point, high level, come out strong. But you also, when you come back from halftime, you have to come out from halftime. Like the score is 0-0, doesn't matter if you're up or down. And then in that fourth quarter, you really have to just turn it on even more. What are some of the tools that you use or some of the things that you do to make sure that your guys are coming out strong for the start of the game, halftime, and especially finishing off that fourth quarter?
All right, so what I like to do, I like to defer. When they do the coin toss, I want to go defense first, so that way I know I'm getting the ball after half. So because my defense has been doing a good job of getting stops, so we know we can get stops, right late in the second quarter. So actually, the third quarter has been our most points have been scored in the third quarter because the guys come out of half. We're able to break down the first half and apply what we're going to do, and we practice all week the second half. So they've been doing a great job with responding to what I'm asking them to do. So that's why, like, the second half is more important than the first half to me. It's all on how you end the game, not how you start the game.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, when y'all win the championship and y'all get ready to have that banquet, you need a speaker. I'm right here, man.
Hey, I got you. I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's work that thing, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see if we can get the lovely Miss Candace Mitchell's audio. Candace, are you there? I'm not sure what's going on. It's something with that mic. I'm not sure. But anyway, bottom line is that Miss Mitchell was out there, and she had told me a lot about the Woodruff team. Also, like you guys, very potent scoring. They were scoring over 40 points a game average, and the same thing, only giving them about 16 or 17 points a game. So my question is, how did you guys, especially after that first half where, I look at the 21-21 score, one of their scores came on a pick six. The other one came after they got 2 penalties worth 30 yards. So in that second half, your defense held them to just 1 touchdown. What was the key?
The key was cutting out stupid penalties. I mean, I think that one drive, we had a late hit out of bounds, and that led to I think words were exchanged. It's going to happen on their sideline. So when we got to the half, we got to the locker room, I said, hey, we cut out the stupid penalties, and we run the football, and we play quality defense, we'll win the game. We came back out the half. I think we rushed the ball for 12 times. I think we went for 165 on the ground. We were able to control the clock, get in the end zone, kind of keep them off balance. That was a lot of our success. Defense got off the field on third down. Offense got 3 quick scores off of those punts and 3 and outs, and that's kind of how the game went in the second half. They responded to what I asked them to do at halftime.
Well, no question, a dominant performance against a team that only had 1 loss coming into that game, and their only loss was to an out-of-state team. And to be able to really be so dominant in the second half, final score, guys, after being tied at 21 at the half, final score was Langston Hughes 56, Woodruff Academy 28. And to give you guys some more background, I believe in their opening round match or their second round match, they outscored their opponents. Now, this is in the playoffs now; it's not regular season. 77-16. Their quarterback was like 10 of 11 for almost 300 yards and I think 5 or 6 touchdown passes. So certainly, man, I think we're going to have, what do they call it, Tyrone? The irresistible object against the immovable force, because we're talking about the best defense in the state against one of the best offense in the state. So it should be
a great game. Hey, you know what I would do? Hey, you know what, Coach? This is what you do. When y'all go to kick it off, since you say you like to go to the defense, kick it off, let your defense on the field. Man, onside kick that thing. Something Coach they not expecting.
Yeah, that'll be big. That'll be big doing some crazy stuff like that. Like I said.
Well, it's funny you guys mentioned that because, we also cover the Atlanta Touchdown Club, and the last meeting they had, they brought in the nemesis of the Atlanta Falcons. Coach Sean Payton was there, and they asked him about that Super Bowl against the Colts, and he said, hey, listen, we had kind of pre-programmed that in. He said, I didn't know when we were going to use it. He said, but I just felt at some point playing against a team like with Peyton Manning at his peak at that time, he said, I knew that we needed something to get an edge. And sure enough, they started that second half and an onside kick, and that was it. That was the changing point of the game. So we're not going to reveal it to those of you watching from Rome. But bottom line is, y'all better be on the lookout for something. The Panthers are about to hit you with something that you're not seen before.
Exactly.
Well, Coach, listen, how can people follow you guys on social media, website? We always like to let people know how they can find out more about our guests.
Well, we have a Langston Hughes football website. It's LangstonHughesFootball.org. And then we also have an Instagram, Langston Hughes Football, as well. Those two are our main ways of getting in contact with us. And we do my Boost Club does a great job, and our coaches run the Instagram. They do a great job, just getting stuff out and letting the people know what's going on inside the program.
No doubt, man. And like I said, just great stuff you guys got going on over there. We appreciate you. And guys, if you want to see some insight on some of the players, go to our Instagram page. Matter of fact, how about you guys take a little snippet of this young man who was picked as a preseason All-Star.
Guys, we're here at the Atlanta Touchdown Club All-Star Luncheon, and we have one of the All-Stars right here. He's going to introduce himself to you right now.
My name is Terrence Love, safety at Langston Hughes High School, a senior there, committed to Auburn.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, Coach, I caught one of your men there, and also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, both of your offensive tackles were also picked as preseason All-Stars as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Hello?
I think I put Coach to sleep. I hear some snoring over there. Coach, I put you to sleep?
Oh, no, I'm here. I don't know what's going on.
Let me say this to Coach Boone real quick. Coach Boone, I run a program up in Marietta, man. If you got some corners, whether they're young or these guys getting ready to go into college, man, hey, they come on up. I'm telling you, I get them ready physically, spiritually, and mentally.
Oh, I definitely need that.
Yes, sir. So help the program, man. I know what I'm talking about.
I know you do. You see what's behind you.
Come on now. Get in touch.
Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate you. We'll be in touch, and we're looking forward to covering your game on Friday. We'll try to get there earlier. One of our key sponsors, Allen Vigil Ford, actually worked for him as well. So I have to kind of run from the dealership down there, but we're going to try to get there and get some stuff online so people can see a little bit about you guys pregame, and hopefully and prayerfully with a win, we can do a postgame with you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck, man.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, guys, keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. See, you never know what you might see on our show.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
Big shout out to I like to call her the Silver Fox. That's the lovely Miss Jay Latrina that was nice enough to give us a little intro there. Jay, if you were watching, appreciate you. Always appreciate the stuff you're doing out there. And also, for those of you who are like me, who are moving into your latter decades. Now, you can see, fellas, I like to kind of keep it black. But everybody doesn't like to do that. So if you say, hey, I'm rocking a silver, check out Gray and Loving It. That's her Facebook page. I think they have close to 2,000 members. So everybody rocking that silver, man, showing you can look good at any age, any hair color. And again, big shout out to her and the stuff that she's doing for everybody, including yours truly. All right, guys, college football now. We're getting down to the Final Four. And we know that Georgia will be there. We also know that the lady wearing the maize and blue, her boys will be there, the Michiganders. But the question is, who will be the other two participants? Will it be the Horned Frogs from TCU? And will the fourth member be a second member of the Big Ten? A second member of the SEC? Could Alabama sneak back into the mix? That's the question, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you pick for this Final Four? Ms. Tree, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, I'm definitely picking Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. I think they'll come back up, and TCU.
All right. Tyrone Poole, who you got in your Final Four, sir? College football playoff.
Right now, let's be straight. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's all about the money. Right now, they got the perfect setup, the perfect scenario to cash in viewership across the country, from East Coast to West Coast. Georgia, then you go up north, you got Michigan, you got a team that's in the central, then you got a team that's out west. That is the perfect scenario for all those who are betting, all those who want the television ratings. If you squeeze Ohio State in there, you're going to cut off either USC. They want USC. USC got rich in tradition, okay? It's almost like, hey, throwback, nostalgia. You know, you got USC back in it. You're going to think you got Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush out there on the field. That's the mindset people are going to have. So right now, these guys, they are loving the way it's set up. Georgia, they're going to represent the East Coast down south. You got Michigan, East Coast up north. Then you got TCU in the middle. For those who don't like Georgia, don't like Michigan, you don't like the West Coast team, let's go for TCU. Plus, TCU represents that feel-good team, that Cinderella team. So if you don't like the big boys, then here you go. You can bet on TCU. So right now, that's the perfect storm what they have now. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC. It's all about the money, baby.
Plus, they're from deep in the heart of Texas. And Texas is a big, big, big football state. So you like TCU, we like Georgia, we like Michigan, and USC. Well, that would be the great matchup. And what they would probably set up is they would have I'm sure they'd want a Michigan, USC, and then, of course, the Horned Frogs against the fellas here in the Bulldogs. Because think about it, Michigan USC would be a throwback to the old Rose Bowls. So they would love to have something like that. And there's no doubt that TCU, they've been feeling some kind of way for a minute. Because if you remember, back in one of the early years of the playoff, they were knocked out of it by Baylor, a team they beat during the regular season. So TCU's like, look here, man, we've been chomping at the bit to get here. Now they have to do their part. They're going to have to win the Big 12 championship. Because they don't do that, guess who might sneak back in? Oh, them daggone guys from Alabama. Yeah, Nick Saban, man, that guy, I mean, Tyrone, you know, he always talks about he's not a big PR guy. I mean, Nick Saban had done put the shades on. He done got a cut on his face. He's like, hey, my boys only lost 2 games, last play of the game, and either one of them they could have won. So Nick Saban's on the trump to try to sneak in there again. But I think, again, if TCU wins, it's going to be USC, like you guys said, TCU, Michigan, and the Georgia Bulldog. Okay, guys, what do you think out there in social media land? Let's go to social media. Speaking of that, let's see what we got there. Mr. Turner, he says here, hey, give Miss Tree her flowers. Talk about Michigan. Let her have the floor. And, of course, you already know.
Yay.
You already know, Miss Tree, that there's been another guy lurking on social media, waiting to jump in. Our man Todd. TCU, he said, who have they played? And no, preacher, Ohio State just placed 5 if one slips up. So we could get a Big Ten, a second Big Ten team in there. Let's see here. Let's go here to.
So this real quick while you're doing the,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The other reason why I would want TCU, and just a little underlining here, okay? I try to think 360, okay? I think 90, meaning right now, but I'm thinking 360 down the road, even though the 90 is found in the 360. So you got to think about what I just said right there. Okay?
I'm trying to stay with you, bro. That's why I got my glasses on. You said 90 to 360. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's a little story. 360, 90 is found in 360, but 360 thinking is not found in 90. Okay. But anyway, underlining, I want to see TCU. Now, Texas Christian University. All right. That's the name of their school, right? But they say TCU. So just underlining, just me personally, Texas Christian University. So I don't know. I like to see them just for their name being in there. Just, that's just me underlining, So, but still, I think it's the perfect setup the way they got it.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, it's always about money at the end of the day. And we'll see what happens. Now, Mr. Turner thinks that we should turn the whole show into talking nothing about Michigan. That's it.
Hey, okay, Vincent. I agree. Today is funny because I was going to tell you both to not call me Tree, that today my name was going to be Go Blue. So whenever you wanted to talk to me, I wanted to hear you say, Go Blue. And I say, oh, yes. So,
okay, well, there we
go.
It.
Yes, Mr. Turner. Today is all about Michigan. It's Michigan Day.
And she's rocking Amazing Blue, boys. She got the Mays jersey. She got the whole. There we go. There it is. Go Blue. She's showing the whole thing off. Look at that. Yeah. Social media might go wild now. I don't know what they're gonna do. Let's go to. Hey, listen, we want to welcome a newcomer off of YouTube, Jimmy Cash. Jimmy, if you're still there, he said Bama versus Ohio State would be a good consolation game. Bama played Ohio State before. Ohio State, Bama actually jumped off to a big lead, and Ohio State, led by Ezekiel Elliott, blew them out in the second half. So it would be very, very interesting. And he said nobody has time for that.
He said Michigan 45, Ohio State 23, 360 that.
Mr. Turner, Turner's trying. Listen, man, Okay, I see how this is working. I see how it's working, Mr. Turner. You trying to get some extra shine with the tree, the queen. Yeah. Now, just stay on social media. Leave us alone. No, but listen, at the end of the day,
it's working, Mr. Turner. I'm loving it.
see, there you go. Look, at the end of the day, we got to give Michigan their credit because like I was telling the guy earlier, I'm a big Michigan fan on my job. And I told him, I mean, Jim Harbaugh, and we talked about this earlier, Tyrone, how critical it was for Michigan to kind of stay with him. Because remember now, they were trying to run the guy out of town because he had lost to Michigan State, lost to Ohio State, I think, 2 years in a row. And they were crazy losses, a bad call against Ohio State. And then the unbelievable block punt with basically no time left to use to Michigan State. So they were getting kind of fed up. But to his credit, the last 2 years, he go, okay, I'm going to give you what I said I'm going to give you. Back-to-back Eastern Division titles in the Big Ten, knocked off Ohio State and Michigan State, their two rivals, and once again will have a berth in the college football playoffs. And y'all know at the end of the day, if you want to be a college coach for a long time, just beat your rivals at least every other year and get yourself a conference championship at least every other year. They'll leave you alone. They'll leave you alone. And so right now, Jim Harbaugh is flying high. And Tyrone, I'm going to tell you something. You know all about people talking junk. There's a Michigan blogger, I was telling Tree, all he's been talking about is we want a rematch with the Bulldogs. We don't care nothing about that Southern cooking. We want all that smoke.
We want all the smoke.
I don't know about you, but I'm thinking you better leave some of that smoke alone.
No, we want all the smoke. We're not worried about none of it. None of it.
Okay, well, it should be very, very interesting. No matter what 4 teams they put in there, it's going to be must-see TV. We are hoping, folks, that we will be able to represent the Real Talk Sports Show and represent you at some of the festivities here for the college football playoff semifinals because, as you guys know or may not know, one of the 2 semifinal games will be held actually in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So we're anticipating a 1-4 matchup, which, barring Georgia getting beat by LSU, we would think it would be Georgia against a TCU or a USC or
in Ohio State.
Ohio State, because they just released, I guess, Ohio State is right now going to be 5.
I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. They're going to find some kind of way to try to keep that thing East Coast, West Coast, man. I'm telling you, you can't have all the teams. They're going to lose a whole lot of money. You guys don't believe it or not. Just look at the NFL. I've never seen such even play in the NFL season since that doggone they signed that deal with the betting. But anyways, I'm gonna stick with college. We're gonna get to the pros, but if Michigan plays Georgia, I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs. Here's the reason why I'm going to the Bulldogs. Michigan, their strength is running the ball. Georgia's strength on defense is stopping the run. So somebody, and then Georgia offense, Georgia got to, they balance Michigan and Georgia. But I do believe in order to win championships, you got to run the ball. You got to be able to stop the run. And I definitely believe that on any good day, a good defense will stop a good offense every day of the week. Because on defense, we just teeing off. Offense, if you're going to pull a guard, you got to take time. Everything has to happen the right way. If a defensive lineman gets off that ball and the guard or the center goes backward and gets in the way to pulling guard, messes up everything. So from the standpoint, like Georgia, Michigan, a great team. But, man, I just think Georgia, man, I just like them Bulldogs. I think the Bulldogs can repeat.
Oh, listen, I think everybody thinks that. But I will tell you, Michigan, and what Michigan just point out, they said, listen, they said, you guys can say what you want, but of all the teams that played Georgia in those final games, outside of Alabama being an SEC title game, but in that playoff, they say, hey, we played you better than Alabama did. And Michigan defense, they're stout. And I will tell you something, Tyrone, as you know, they can run the ball. They proved against Ohio State, even without their big gun, their Heisman Trophy candidate, halfback, being injured, not really being able to play much. They still rushed for over 200 yards against a very good Ohio State team. So, yeah, man, it's going to be must-see TV no matter who plays. I think these Final Four teams, whoever's getting in there, I think are pretty evenly matched. Even everybody trying to put Georgia kind of a notch ahead. I just think, man, that but I'm saying that the way they have played outside the games where they kind of fell asleep, they have played their best against teams that were ranked very, very well, as we saw against Tennessee. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, this should be a really good Final Four matchup. Let's go back to social media. Mr. Stern said, hey, man, there's no shine. He said Michigan won. He said, I remember Ohio State didn't need no shine. Tennessee State. Yep. Well, he's going way back in history, talking about the Tennessee State team that had 27 players drafted to the pro back in the day when they weren't doing
Wow.
much in terms of black college football. That Tennessee State, they had a run from, I think, from the mid 60s to the early 70s, that they really were just putting guys into the NFL left and right. So big kudos to Mr. Turner. Talking about Claude Humphrey, the great Claude Humphrey of Falcon and then the Eagle. And Todd is saying Gainesville High would beat Michigan. All right. Well,
Todd, what?
I don't know what you're smoking, bro. Yeah, I don't know what you're
Todd,
smoking.
come on.
Yeah, he's acting crazy.
Todd, you did not.
Let me add this in. What it's going to boil down to, and this is real talk, it's going to be who could take whose heart.
Right.
Who can take whose heart? That's what it's going to boil down to. All the numbers, all the stats don't mean nothing. If I can take your heart, when I hit you, if I can make you say, ugh, and hear you, see you get up slow, I don't care who you are. I'm going to beat your butt. So that's what it's going to come down to.
Michigan.
Who can take whose heart?
So that's what Ohio State did against. So that's what Michigan did against Ohio State in their backyard. That second half, they were dominant, especially on the ground. All right, guys, keep it locked right here for more. We'll be talking more football, shifting to the NFL soon. But you won't be able to join us until you keep it locked right here. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
And we're back here, guys. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me, in case you're watching, the champion, Tyrone Poole, and right below us both, the queen, Miss Tree Dolman, is in the building. Yes,
Can I say something before we continue with sports?
Jump on in, fair lady. Jump on in.
Thank you. Today is Giving Tuesday, everybody. So please find it in your heart to give to some charity, some organization that's doing something that you like and something that you're passionate about. As you know, I have 2 nonprofit organizations. So if you would like to give to one of those, that's fine. If not, give to any organization. Again, it's just Giving Tuesday. It's the biggest day of giving in the year. And you can make a difference and help with so many wonderful causes. Just find one that's near and dear to your heart. If you would like to support one of mine, you can do so at Making a Better Me or Go Great for a Cure. It's on our social media. The links are there with Giving. Georgia Gives for Giving Tuesday. And Tyrone also has an organization where you can support him. But again, it does not matter what organization you support. Just support one that's near and dear to your heart, that's making a difference with things that you align with. But I just encourage, even if every little bit helps. So even if you give a small amount, it all adds up. But today is Giving Tuesday, so just want to shout that out and find it in your heart to give to some organization today.
There's right there, guys. Giving Tuesday. Give something today. Because here's the thing, guys. A little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing. So whatever you can do, it will be appreciated by whatever organization you decide to support. So again, Giving Tuesday. Give something today if you can. Let's go back here to social media. And Mr. Turner said, hey, don't go there. I'm the smoke. He said he just smoked from 901.
901?
Yep. And he said, Todd's a hater. He said, Ohio State got that booty tap. In other words, they got spanked. They got spanked.
At home.
At home. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Michigan did what they had to do. That's the type of game that you want to play against your rival. That's the type of game you want to play when you're trying to win a national championship, that you want to leave no doubt. You want to let them know, hey, man, whatever you were trying to do, no. And whatever we were trying to do, yes, and yes again. So, yeah, man, they are rolling. Now, who do they play now in the Big Ten championship? Is it
Purdue?
Purdue. Yeah, Purdue. I mean, they've had some moments. I don't think they're going to beat your boys, but it's anytime you get into a championship game, you still have to be on your best game. You can't go in there thinking, hey, we're ranked ahead of these guys, because, both of you guys know from playing, talk is one thing, but playing is another. What you do on that field is going to make the difference. So yeah, but I think Michigan is going to handle their business. I think Georgia's going to handle their business against LSU, and that fourth person is going to be very interesting. I wouldn't want to be in that room actually probably would want to be in that room as they chop it up to figure out who's going to be the fourth and final team in that spot if everybody wins out. So we shall see. Well, how about some NFL football, guys? What do you think about the NFL, Tyrone? You talked about the parity. You know, even your boy Tom Brady made fun and said he'd never seen so much bad football watching tape in his years of playing. I mean, is it just mediocre football? Is it bad football? Or just the NFL has really gotten this whole parity thing down pat?
Well, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna twist it around, John. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think? Then I'll come back behind you. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, all these games are one-score games. That's one of the things that's the only reason why the Falcons. Now, speaking of that, we'll talk about them later. That's why the Falcons are still in the playoff hunt at 5-7, and a quarterback that really doesn't even average 200 yards a game passing. Why is that possible? Because everybody is really playing a brand of football. No, I shouldn't say no one's standing out. Kansas City looks good. Buffalo looks good. Miami looks good. I mean, there are some good teams. Minnesota looks good. But, I mean, we don't see the type of play consistently in the NFL that we've seen in years past. So I think they've watered the game down. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But, yeah, there's no doubt that this parity thing, they got it down pat this year because I've not seen anything kind of like this in a minute.
You just look at some of the calls, man. Come on, let's be real. Call a spade a spade. Come on, you know, even Stevie Wonder, they say, with C. Come on, it's a lot of calls, man. Let's just be honest. Call it what it is. There's a lot of calls are like questionable calls. Are like, why you call that call at that time? You know, again, I think when the NFL signed that deal with those betting companies, man, I'm like, somebody got to cover the spread. Somebody got to cover. They can win, but as long as they cover the spread. Or if they lose, again, just go back. Even a couple years ago, you saw where there was a difference as far as the teams that were dominant and the teams that were not. You know, so but now you see everybody, you know, has an opportunity to make the playoffs. So that increases the betting for Las Vegas. I don't, like I said, I just call a spade, man. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. It's my opinion.
Tree, what do you think? We're seeing some maybe some Slim Shady behavior, or just everybody's kind of evenly matched?
I just think it's a rough year for a lot of teams. We know that in the offseason, a lot of different things happen when you look at the Green Bay Packers, and the teams just aren't flowing because of some of the major changes that have taken place. So I just think that's what we're seeing.
These are professional guys. These are professional guys. These guys have played high school football, college football. It's just like a woman, just make an example, or a man. We use a woman having a baby because a man can't have a baby. That's just like a woman who has had 5 kids. And on her 6th kid, maybe she just, I don't, I'm like, you're a pro at that right now. So whether you got 3 weeks, you know, to get in shape, or 3 weeks before the season starts, you're a pro. Professional football, professional athlete. So again, nothing against, you know, the woman. I was just using that as an example, just because, like I say, men can't have babies. But I'm just saying, even if you work the job, forget about the woman. Okay, let's just use another example.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a bad analogy.
I'm just saying it's an analogy. If you've had so many kids, like, you know, you know the process. You know, so for someone to come up and say, well, for a mother who's had 5 kids, say, well, I didn't know I was gonna get an epidural. Come on, you don't have 5 kids. Or somebody who's been working a mechanic. Well, to change the oil, I've been doing it for 20 years, but I didn't know I was going to have to jack this car up to get up underneath to change the oil. And you're a pro at this. So, again, these guys are professionals. They're professionals. Whether the NFL say you got 3 weeks to get in shape, you're a professional. You know where it works. They're just like Jonathan. You can go work your job all day, but you know you got a show at 8 o'clock. So I believe you could come in here 15 minutes till and still run your show. Why? Because you're not a rookie at this. You know what to do. You know what you say, okay, I got to forget about this. I got to concentrate straight on this right here. Come on, man. Stop making excuses. It is what it is.
We have done that before. Yes, sir. Todd has a warning. He said, Tyrone, you better check your brake lines. The NFL doesn't like people talking about their corruption. They ain't playing.
Yeah, everybody see it, man. Everybody see it. I even go back to when, it's just my opinion, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the Green Bay Packers during the COVID, when COVID was at its height, and Florida was a hot spot. Okay, you already got a team that's in Florida. Why bring two teams, fans, to Florida? Aaron Rodgers, man. Normally, you got the ball on the 10-yard line. You got an open path to run the ball into the end zone that could give your team the lead. You decide to stop and throw across your body and get it picked off. Come on, man. Come on now. Oh no, that's just me. That's just me. Oh no.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you about this whole thing with the betting. First of all, this is nothing new. You can go back in NFL history, and there's been some really questionable stuff that's gone on throughout the history of the NFL. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the game. It's the most popular game in the nation, but there's always been some stuff that's looked a little funny. Matter of fact, I was at a Falcons game where a player ran out of bounds and the clock just kept running. I was like, hey, does anybody else see that? So you see these things, even the way a ball is spotted. You know, and I know, Tyrone, okay, you get a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. The referee can determine where the forward progress is of that player and very easily move the ball forward or back, and you go to the replay, hey, the guy should have been here. So that's always been a situation because you have to go back to the history of the league. The league first started with guys that primarily were doing it around betting. You know, I tell you, go back and look at the history of the NFL, how it originally started. Matter of fact, back in the days when it first started, the great college players, they were dissuaded from playing in the NFL because people said, hey, this is something, you got a bunch of gangsters in there. I'm just saying, if you go back and read the history, I'm not making this up, go back and read the history of how the NFL started. So we get it. Unfortunately, that's going to be the nature of the beast. You're always going to get some stuff that goes on that's kind of strange. I always felt in my mind, it always weirded me out that you would make a mandate for players not to bet, but then you would kind of align yourself with betting companies and put a team in Las Vegas.
Now, check this out. I just went to Google. I want to get, I should try to get the stats. But do you guys remember when the Cleveland Browns played the Texans and Nick Chubb ran out of bounds at like the 2-yard line?
I don't. I'd have to go to.
Exactly. I'm just saying. I was going to look up the stats, but I'm telling people, go look up the video. Go look at the video. Go look up the stats and see what the score was. And again, the caption on certain people's, news articles: Nick Chubb screws Browns bettors on final play of Texans. As it says right here. I don't want the video to play, but again. Yeah, he runs out of bounds.
He could have scored a touchdown, but he ran out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he runs out of bounds instead of scoring a touchdown. Again, it says Nick Chubb screws Browns bettors on final play of Texans game.
Help me out.
Yeah, week 10. I think this is it was 2 years ago, 2020. So, I don't know. Like I said,
you can't explain that one.
Yeah, well, you can't explain if you go look at the stat. That's why I didn't want to take up time. I can actually explain it, but I'm telling people now, go look at it. And
I'm saying you can't explain that one in the sense that it doesn't make sense. If you're trying to score, you're not going to intentionally run out of bounds at the 2-yard line. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. So I'm just centering around like betting or what have you. Again, I don't know, but I'm like, if you would have to go look at the stats and look at where the game was, if whatever, if they're up by 16 points and it's 2 minutes left in the game, man, go ahead and score. I'm like, why run out of bounds? I don't know. You have to see, like I was going to pull it up, but it just came back to memory because I saw a lot of people and heard a lot of people talking about that particular play. So again, I don't know.
Well, Tyrone Poole has done it. He has now put the Real Talk Sports Show on blast. The NFL, I'm sure, will be calling me saying, "Hey, what y'all talk about on that show?" But at the end of the day, listen, people that know me, you go back and look some of my older stuff. I've talked about this for many, many years that, and not just the NFL, but professional sports. It's anytime you have a lot of money involved in anything, whether it be business, whether it be sports, there are going to be people that are going to try to skirt around the rules to get some money. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. For those of you who are watching, y'all bet not skirt around the rules of stopping watching this show during the commercial break. Y'all
Oh,
keep
here it is right here. I got it right here. The score was 7. It was 10-7. Cleveland with 56 seconds left in the game. It was 10-7 with 56 seconds left in the game. I think the Browns were favored by 3.5 points or something like that. 3.5 points over the Texans. And Nick Chubb, I'm looking at it right now. He got like nobody behind him. 56 seconds left. If he had scored, it would have made it 17. Probably he kicked the extra point, 17-7. But 10-7. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, guys, I do know one thing. Don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show, because we got to talk about the Falcons. Speaking about bad play, y'all just hold on. We'll be back.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
My man, JB Smooth. I appreciate him for coming on and joining us here on the Real Talk Sports Show. Speaking of appreciate, we have a gentleman that is the man when it comes to covering the Falcons. He's the embedded sports writer for AJC Sports for the Falcons, and he is Esquire par excellence. And every now and then, he wears a mean fedora. Mr. D. Orlando Ledbetter is back in the building. What's going on, D. Led?
Hey, not too much, Reverend. Thanks for having me on the show. Hello to you, Miss Tree and Tyrone. I hope all's going well with everybody this season.
Hi, D-Led.
It would have been going much better, D-Led. I predicted 10-7. I said to myself, they're at 5-5. I was about to come in here with shades on, cowboy hat. I'm about to go buck wild. And I told you, but no. Once again, D-Led, they have snatched a defeat out of the jaws of potential victory. What on earth was happening in the play calling? I kind of got a little glimpse of you talking to Arthur Smith. What was he thinking? First and goal from about the 4. Mm-hmm. You got 4 shots. What?
Yeah, Reverend, it was worse than that. It was first and goal from the 2. And, they I wrote in the 5 takeaways that he chose finesse football from the 2-yard line. They made an RPO. Mariota thought he saw something where they were going to crash down on CP. He tried to keep it and get around the end, but Montez Sweat outfoxed him and met him in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. So then on 2nd and 4, he decides that, okay, I'm going to throw a little pass in the flat to Patterson, who wasn't even in the end zone. It was like a 2-yard flat route. And Deron Payne puts his arm up, left arm, and blocks it, tips it up. They catch it again. It was the worst call, really, to me since Darrell Bevel threw the pass in the Super Bowl when they should have been running with Marshawn Lynch. I mean, why are you getting cute on the 2-yard line? You got all your timeouts left. They're all timeouts. You can run 4 quarterback sneaks. And, if you can't get it in 4 quarterback sneaks, then, I can go home and with some pride and a smile on my face, like, hey, we couldn't move him for 2 yards. It's football. But no, they chose to try to trick him. It didn't work. And now, Reverend, I feel bad for you. They got to run the table if they're going to get to 10 wins. They got to win everything to get to 10 wins for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave the floor and let Miss Tree make a comment or ask D-Led, because I'm still feeling some kind of way. Tree?
Well, I mean, what is it? What do you think is the main thing that the Falcons can do to kind of turn it around? I thought they had a good start this season. So what is it that you think is something that they can actually attain this year?
Well, they've got to, they play hard, Miss Tree, so that's good. That travels. They can run the ball. That's good. You can build around that. You got to upgrade at some certain spots. But as far as this year goes, they're already playing with house money. Nobody had them in the playoff hunt at this late stage. Nobody had them winning 5 games. So, nobody. So they're they might as well go steal the NFC South while sitting there for the taking. You might as well go and do that. So that's what's available from now. We know who they are. Marcus Mariota's gonna make a good play, right? The 45-yard pass to Olamide Zaccheaus. He fell down, almost messed that one up. And he's gonna throw a bad ball here and there. Got that one tipped. That wasn't the only tip pass in the game. So you got a quarterback that's kind of, hot and cold. So the only thing you could depend on is running the ball. And you ran it on the 6th-ranked defense. So, if you was trying to explain to me why you didn't run it because you were scared the defense is going to give up a field goal, it doesn't add up to me, and I'm sorry. They're just going to have to explain to me why you are on the 2-yard line and you are pulling the ball away from the 2-yard line on a read option play. And then on the next play, you're in the shotgun. Please, please, please. People of this new age football era have to explain to me why you're in the shotgun inside the 10-yard line when you're trying to go forward. I haven't heard a good explanation as to why people are doing that now, but you see it in high school games. You see it in the NFL now. So we need to have a seminar at the combine on why you are in the shotgun inside the 10-yard line. We can probably do that on inside the 20, but certainly not on the 2-yard line. I just don't understand that at all.
We'll go to social media before we go to Tyrone. So Todd he's brokenhearted. He said, could you explain to Falcons Nation why this team week after week breaks the team hearts? Is a fumble, an interception, or the defense doesn't do what they have to do? I think you summed it up already.
I just think, it's real that they are playing with a $77.4 million dead cap salary hit, and their talent level is not as good as most of the teams they're playing. That wasn't the case against the Bears, and they won that against Washington. And that clearly have an elite defensive front. Nothing on the Falcons is clearly elite. So it's a really middle of the pack Pete Rozelle team that's playing through some inequities, and they're doing a good job. So I'm not. When Marcus Mariota throws the pick there, I'm not surprised. It's kind of see it coming because, you just made a couple good plays. That's his whole history. If you've been studying, and if you expect him to come out and throw, go 25 for 30 every week and throw for 300 yards, you haven't been paying attention. So, they're playing with limitations, and the coaches are doing a good job with playing around the fact that, they can't get after the passer, can't cover the passer, got to get turnovers, and got to, get some big plays here and there to pull out games. They got a 103-yard kickoff return to pull out the Bears game. So, if they don't get turnovers and get big plays in special teams, they're going to be in a tough battle. The 3 of the games they won were with interceptions at the end. So crazy stuff has to happen for them because they're not just going to go out there and beat anybody. They just don't have that type of firepower yet. So, that's the realistic situation they're in, is that, they got to go out there, play hard, and hopefully something falls their way. This game, it didn't fall their way.
Wow. He says, fantasy football GOAT strategy says today's offense coordinators call plays like they're playing video games. All right, Tyrone, comments or questions for D or Leonard Ledbetter?
I'm going to go back to that last play that everybody's, talking about. All right. I'm not, as a player, I'm not disappointed with the call. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm gonna start with I'm gonna go back to when the Patriots played the Seahawks, and then I'm gonna bring it up to this last play where it got picked off. Okay, I'm gonna point out some things that I saw. All right.
Oh, something happened there with Tyrone. Okay, you're back. Go ahead. We lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Okay, did you guys hear everything I said?
No, you said you're gonna point out some things that I saw, and it went off.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you back to the Seattle Seahawks versus the Patriots game, and then walk it up to the Falcons versus the Commanders game. All right, what I saw from a player standpoint. Going back to that Seattle and Patriots game, you know the reason why that was an interception? It was because Browner, the defensive back.
Trying to get Tyrone back there.
Yeah, Malcolm Brown was guarding Ricardo Luckett on the play he's talking about.
That made Ricardo Luckett have to slow down, which allowed Butler to beat him to the point. That play was a touchdown. It's just like in the Falcons. Go back to the Super Bowl when the Falcons played the Patriots. That sack, that Hightower hit on Matt Ryan. If Freeman had made that block on Hightower, Julio Jones was wide butt open. And that's who Matt Ryan was about to throw the ball to. But Freeman stepped too far up into the line of scrimmage. Hightower had a clean shot. Ball comes out. Now, go back to this Falcons play last week. All right? Marcus. It was a good play call. They kind of came with a 4 strong, right? I'm actually looking at the formation. They motioned. They were in a 2-by-2, motion over the trips. Patterson came out, leaked through the offensive line, created 4 strong. They had a short backside. Marcus stared down that side of the field. He did not even look over to even look anybody off. He stayed his focus right there where he had to throw the ball. And defensive linemen are taught. If you can't get to the quarterback, sit there, read his eyes, and then put your hands up. And that is exactly what happened. I believe, just me personally, if Marcus had just come out and just looked to his left and then came back, that would have been a wide open touchdown. But because he took the snap, he dropped back, he stared the whole way. The defensive lineman looking at him, boom, come on, man. This is where that veteran understanding, we call it in New England, football situation. Situational football. That's how you win games, and that's how you can lose games. Not understanding situational football. So I'm not upset with the play. It was a heck of a play. 4 strong. Man, Patterson, he was open. It was a touchdown. All he had to do was catch it and fall back. It was a touchdown. But I believe because of Marcus, and nothing against Marcus, but all quarterbacks do this. Shoot, I messed up as a defensive back. Techniques I didn't use. But if Marcus had looked over to the left just for a split second and then came back, he knows what everybody's doing. You got to fool the defense. Boom, boom, bam. It's open. But he took the ball, came straight back and stared him down. That's why that ball was picked off. That's why it was tipped, should I say, and then picked off. That's observing football. That's true observing the film. It was nothing wrong with the play. The play was a great call. It was wide open. Because most of the time you're going to get man-to-man down there. You're going to get man-to-man defense. And they're going to blitz them gaps on defense, and they're going to play man-to-man. So what the Falcons did, they created 4 strong. And then they snuck Patterson out, knowing that he probably going to have a linebacker covering him. Boom. He snuck out. He was wide open. So that's coming from somebody who studied film and played the game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard.
Yeah, another thing he could have did pre-snap was just stare to the other side to get him. You know, if he didn't want to take his way from it once he's dropping back, he should have just been like over here with the motion and just staring it down. And then when he's ready to get over there, get to it. So great observation, Tyrone. I didn't study his head movement on that, but when you go back and look at the film, that should be easy to see. And Duran, that wasn't the only tip ball. So they picked up something in the scouting that told them to read his eyes if they can't get there. and tip it up in the air, and it helped them win that football game.
Yep.
Well, before I go to Todd here, I'm gonna say this. I'm a little bit uninitiated. Me personally, I'm thinking you as a coach know what you got. You know you don't have a Peyton Manning playing quarterback. You have shown that this team, with all the deficiencies, can run the ball about as good as anybody in the NFL, no matter what kind of defense. Because as D-Let pointed out, Washington defense was very stout against the run. To me, the question I would ask Coach Smith is, how much of a difficulty it is for an offensive coordinator like yourself to be able to do what you did 5 games ago, where you ran the ball 11 straight times down a team's throat and scored a touchdown. See, that's what I think it's all about. To me, I don't all that stuff you tell me about, oh, they saw the snap. Hey, man, it gets back to this.
Okay. I'm going to take you back, Jonathan. Like you said, I'm going to take you back. Let's take another game. Let's take Buffalo when they played Minnesota. Okay. This is how, like we talked about how college football, who's going to win is determined on who can take whose will. If I can take your heart, I'm going to beat you every time. I don't care how big you are. Now, let's go back to the Buffalo Bills when they played Minnesota. How come they didn't score then, John? The ball right there on the 1 yard line, man. If what you're saying is true. So, again, you can call it play, but it's about who gets off that ball, man. Who gets off that ball at the snap? If that D-line get off that ball and they get in between them gaps, so all this stuff you got to factor in. You just can't get out there and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, that's true. Okay. But and we've seen it with Buffalo and Minnesota. I'm telling you, man, it's funny things happen sometimes out there on that field, man.
And again, we don't want to, and I think sometimes as a fan, we take away from the fact that the other team has got professionals. And in fact, that, hey, these guys watch film like everybody else. I guess my disappointment is that they didn't appear to have been able to stop you. So I'm thinking, I'm going to do the same thing until you stop me. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm going to keep running until you prove to me you can stop me from running. And when you talk about 2 yards, it'd be one thing if they say, okay, we got 1st and 10 from the 15. I get what you're saying. Hey, we got to try to mix it up. But, dude, you're on the 2-yard line. You've just rushed the ball. They had not given up 100 yards to any team all year long at that point. The Falcons, up to that point, already had 160. So I'm thinking, okay, clearly, I don't care how good you are, you can't appear to have stopped us. So I'm at least take 2, maybe even 3 shots at just running the ball like I've been doing all game. And then, like D-Let said, if you stop me, you stop me.
It did something else. Okay, go back to that game. I'm looking at the game, the last 3 plays of that game when they first got down there. Marcus got sacked because Washington blitzed. They blitzed. Okay, so again, you run the ball. If I hit that gap, bam, you dead in the backfield. So again, most defenses play man-to-man down there at the goal line. They call it goal line defense. They don't play no zone down there. It's man-to-man. You got to play the percentages. That's what they had that play call sheet. They're not just putting plays on there, man. Just calling it, highlighting it green and yellow and blue. These are calls that when we get down here, this is what this defense plays. They are a high percentage zone team between the 20 and the 10. When you get inside the 10 to the goal line, they are strictly man-to-man. Okay, what are our best plays against the blitz? So that's how they calculate it. They just don't get out there, man, playing checkers. It is chess. Yeah. Sometimes, it is what it is, though. You just got to make a play. But I think you want them to get that 10 win. That's what you upset with, John.
Are you sure?
You got power on their power. You don't try to run around it. You don't seen this in a while, but you go I formation. You can put a big tackle back there with the fullback and knock some people out the hole for 2 yards. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying get fancy with it. It's a simple, geometry issue for me. From the most direct point is from point A to B is a straight line. So,
they have it in their offense, do they? Do they have it in their offense? I know you mentioned
they got I formation that I haven't seen a power package, which doesn't make sense to me. That you don't have the eye, and they ran a belly with Keith a couple times this year. If that's your quick hitter, boom, that's probably not gonna go against a goal line. You gotta knock somebody out the gap. So you might have to double up the power. and seal off the edges because you know guys are faster now. They can get around the edge and stop the I formation. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to throw no pass on it too. I don't care how the play design is.
It's kind of like you said. If I see you, if I'm a defensive player, a defensive unit, we out there on the field, and we notice that you are a high percentage in the gun team. Okay, and then we see you come out with a fullback, and we know you're running the ball. It's just like I'm playing defensive back.
I'm running the ball.
If I see you bring that tall receiver, you've been lining up. A perfect example. We playing when I was with New England. We played the Colts in Indianapolis, and I was covering Reggie Wayne. They had Marvin. He's still on his side. Reggie Wayne still on his side. They got all the way down to the 5-yard line. I was Reggie Wayne. Then all of a sudden, they brought this 6'5" kid in. Come on, man. I know what y'all about to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play like I'm up in press. So I'm going to ensure that you're going to do what I know you're going to do. Try to throw the fade. And I got off the guy at the snap of the ball. Quarterback threw it. Bam, incomplete. So again, if I'm a defense, I know you line up in the eye with a fullback. Guys, get off the ball. You know what they're about to do. So now,
that's fine. But Coach Smith, Mike Smith, always said, "Hey, you got to be able to run the ball when they know it's coming." So I'm like, "Hey, I don't care. I'm running it, and here it comes. So let's go. Let's play some football."
Fantasy Football Ghost Strategy says old school players' perspective as well. He says, man up and run the ball, 4 downs to get 2 yards. Cowboys made the same mistake on Thursday. Then he says, hey, look, man, the OCs get too cute rather than calling what's been working. Video game play. That's all I'm saying, man. Look, at the end of the day, I understand what you're saying, Tyrone. I'm getting from a defensive perspective. Yeah. I don't want to take away that Washington, they obviously watch film. But to me, Washington's strength was run defense. Falcons' strength was run offense. For 3 quarters and 14 minutes, it appeared that the Falcons' run offense was having its way against the defense, run defense against the Commanders. So to me, I'm going to test that at least 2 more times before I go, it looks like they got it. I got to do something else because I got 2 yards. That's it.
They say nothing just happens. Something happened to whether it was early in the season, the middle of the season, or during that game where they didn't feel like our offense was as competitive enough down here in between the goal line and the 5-yard line. I don't know. I'm just talking. Nothing just happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's something
a lot of linemen were on skates that day too. They were pushing the poor center back. I saw him get pushed back a couple times, and even Lindstrom had a couple where he had to run the guy past the quarterback. So that's probably on his mind because if I'm seeing that, I know he's seeing that. And like you say, it's a supercharged, everybody going in the backfield type deal. So he probably thought he couldn't win enough spots across that line to run some power against those guys. I'm just trying to come up with a reason for why he did what he did. That would be the only other reason I can come up with.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let the queen talk because I didn't talk enough. I'm going to be quiet now.
I mean, I don't have much more to add. I agree with D-Led when you run the ball and if they know the run is coming, run it anyway. I mean, I think that's what we all like to see with great football where you just going in and you make a great play. Everybody gets excited off of that. So you can't be scared to run the ball, especially at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, plus for once, and I don't know how long, the Falcons have made, Tyrone, you talk about this. You talk about what the team is made of, kind of what is their style of play. Well, the Falcons have shown this year that they actually can run the ball. They're the 3rd best running team in the league. And it didn't appear that no one has been able to stop them all year. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't care if Mariota throws for 100 yards. I really don't. I like to see him throw for more, but if the Falcons can run for 200 and win games, then keep running the ball. I don't care if you run the ball 40 times. I don't care about any of that because the idea is to win the game. There's not style points. That's what Atlanta gets all caught up in, style. I don't care about style. I don't care about wins. That's your Patriots, the same thing. They didn't care about style. I mean, if Brady only threw the ball 10 times, he didn't care. Hey, did we win? That's it. So I want to see some win. Doggone it. I'm tired of these clowns. All right. Anyway, I'm just mad because they're going to mess me up. I have to win 5 straight to win 10 wins. That's why I'm mad. Anyway, Tosh says, I'll say this.
That must be horrific. No, he took Terry's spot. Maybe that's it. No, but this is a good segue, Reverend. This is a good week here to look at two different approaches. The Steelers have gone with the on-the-job training approach with their quarterback, and it's been sketchy. He's thrown 8 picks, but the last 3 games he hasn't turned it over. So he's learning. He's figuring stuff out. The Falcons are going with in the laboratory approach. You learn in practice. You learn in running the scout team. You learning how to get better going against our first team defense. So in a couple years, maybe even next year, we'll see, if this approach has worked. We'll see where Pickett is. We'll see if the Falcon approach, what Ritter is working. They're going to let him develop away from the spotlight, whereas the Steelers are developing their quarterback on the field. They didn't start it that way. It just got down the Mitchell Trubisky road, and it happened that way.
Well, we're going to find out sooner rather than later what is going on here with this Falcons team. And, guys, we got to wrap it up for tonight, unfortunately. I could really go on about these doggone Falcons because I was thinking I was going to come on TV and say I was the only one.
We got to feature his cards.
Oh, that's right.
Damn.
Hold on. Let me get the close-up. Hold on a second. There they are. Well, there's still a lot of W's on there. More than what people thought. All right. But
yes, you guys have 5.
Right. Now, let's get your lines up there. They play very well. Let's get your win total up there. Their lines.
I hate that we lost on Thanksgiving. I mean, I really wanted that win. That one hurt. But then we know that my Vikings skull.
Skull, baby. That's a whole lot of W's on.
A whole lot of W's. And only 2 L's. I mean, I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. You know how we do it. D. Orlando Ledbetter, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Reverend. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC, on the Instagram at DOrlandoLed, and our website is ajc.com. Thanks for following and listening. Have a great week.
Thank you, sir. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
I'll say this. The game, Jacksonville versus the Lions. I said Jacksonville going to win more games than the Lions. So they 4-7. Somebody got to lose. So somebody going to come back with a record better. So it's going to be interesting. Jacksonville versus the Lions. But no, Tyrone Poole, 38, all social medias.
The Lions have it.
See you soon, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Remember, again, it's Giving Tuesday. Please find some organization to give to. You can find me on all social media at Purple Diva 13 and Ms. America International 2022.
There it is. I normally wrap up with something longer than this, but it's time for us to go. Listen, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long now.